he didn't get the typical retirement match, and the break that. And for if you hate Goldberg, hate him or love him, it's undeniable his impact on the sport, how popular he was, like very Ultimate Warrior like in a lot of ways. Although he liked doing the job, I think more than Warrior did, but very similar in the kind of what they brought to the sport, their attitude, their presentation, and the intensity. But he's still at this point, and I'm not against a retirement match as long as he's doing the honors. And if he's doing the honors on the way out, that's fantastic, and I don't mind it whatsoever. And if he gets a moment where he's promoted for a match for a month, it's not the end of the world. That said, interesting thing, and I respect the hell out of this, is that it's beneficial for him every way from the ring anyway. And headed this match, I remember reading an article not too long ago where he had gotten surgery on his shoulder. His shoulder was a lot better condition than he had been previously at his age. He's in his 50s, but also he did stem cell surgery recently to be in better shape and give a better performance for this final match, which is great. That's great for everybody. That said, who should he face? We've all seen the Gunther rumors. Okay, they kind of set that up. That's one way to go. But who would benefit the most from facing a Goldberg and getting the win, not losing to Goldberg? Or if they want to just go with the biggest match possible, who's the options? I'm going to run some options. There's Gunther, Bron Breakker, spear versus spear. I mean, a guy like Bron Breakker would certainly benefit from a win of a Goldberg. It'd be very much passing the torch of that kind of intense style, football, spear. It's just perfect. It just seemed to go. John Cena. Never saw John Cena versus Goldberg. That would be very interesting if both of them, this is their last kind of year doing this and John Cena's on the way out. That would be fun. I'm not against that kind of weird dream match, and that would be interesting for how long it goes. Maybe Braun Strowman. Maybe it's the idea of Goldberg wants to get revenge on facing Braun, losing the title to him at WrestleMania during the pandemic. Bronson Reed, if he's healthy enough where he's back in time, Bronson Reed is definitely a guy that's a perfect kind of opponent, and boy, could he benefit just to further build that name, especially since he lost a lot of steam from the injury. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, I don't think he's going to win a world title, but he's done a lot of good work. He deserves to be in big matches. Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg, that'd probably be a good match. Maybe Finn Balor. There's been rumors that they really want to push him this year now that he's re-signed. Finn Balor versus, he'd be the underdog. You'd have the Judgment Day. They cheat to help with him win, Goldberg spearing different members of the Judgment Day or whoever he's with at that time. Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is another one who would definitely benefit from Goldberg. Out of those, who do you want?
You ran a hell of a menu there. You know what I mean? A hell of a buffet of opponents to choose from. I think if it's a Balor situation or a Braun Strowman situation, I think that's a situation where Goldberg ends up winning and on the way out. Like I love the scenario you presented with Balor and the Judgment Day kind of helping the cheat win. But ultimately, I think it's in a scenario like that, it would be a Goldberg's retirement match where he's winning. If it's a matter of him doing the honors, I think Bron Breakker is the one that benefits the most. He's the one that kind of resembles a young Goldberg in terms of the moveset, the hunger, the intensity, a lot of similarities there. And if, the young lion kind of putting the older one out to pasture is a story that writes itself. I would love to see that. Drew is interesting. Like Drew would be a powerhouse stuff. You are speaking my language when you mentioned Bronson Reed. I love me some Bronson Reed. Very unfortunate the injury that he suffered in with his moment in War Games. But if he is healthy and coming back, having him be the guy to put out Goldberg would be just another notch on his belt and would just like elevate him even further. And I would love to see that. Ultimately, though, I think it's going to be Gunther. I think Gunther loses the title to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. He's going to need a big program after that. And this is just a very natural progression of that. Put him into a program with Goldberg, whatever the case may be. If it's for SummerSlam, maybe Gunther, runs the gamut after a while, just kind of frustrated, laying opponents out, reestablishing his dominance. And here comes a wrestler who was known for being the most dominant in his heyday to kind of present himself. One last challenge, to kind of take out Gunther. Who wins in that scenario? I can see either one playing out. Goldberg kind of takes out Gunther, which would be unfortunate to go out on top. Or if he loses to Gunther, no skin off his back, he's losing to a recent world champ and a dominant force in the WWE at the moment. So I think that's the direction they're going to go. I think it would be a fantastic match. Gunther is almost incapable of having a bad match. And that just seems like the most natural choice in this scenario.
Yeah, I mean, since they set it up, it's unlikely that they'll go away from that. That's probably what's going to happen. I just don't like the Gunther idea too much because I mean, Gunther's already top star. I think Gunther's pretty much established. You know, when you've only lost like what 2 or 3 times in your entire time on the roster, I think you're pretty good to go. That's why like a Gunther, him beating Gunther would be fun and everything like that, but I think it's not necessary. I think Bronson would be the perfect guy. If not Bronson, I think the honestly, not even 1A, just as perfect as Braun. Because I can totally picture this. And also, I forgot to mention when we set this up, Goldberg did say the match is supposed to be in the summer. That's when it's supposed to be. So SummerSlam is probably likely. But it just in the lead up, in like the weeks before, the match happens, like Braun Breaker just is like, okay, I've defended my title. I don't feel anybody's worth it. And he just starts calling him out. Like, I heard you're going to have a retirement match. I'm the Goldberg today. I'm the man now. Like, I can just see him, the way he does his promo and stuff like that, just calling out Goldberg for a few weeks. And then eventually Goldberg just answers and then eventually sets up the match and everything like that. But yeah, I think that's the way to go. And I agree. It's probably going to be Gunther, but I mean, he goes out against a top star today, a former champion. That's fine. And the match should be good. Gunther will get a good match out of Goldberg, which is the pro of the whole situation. But